think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life.
Hey, BALLBUSTERS, Bates here with your friend and mine, Ray Mungus. And we want you to be our victim. Tonight, on episode 36, Way of Life Live. What is going on over there in Mungus Land?
Not a hell of a lot. Basically just skirting the edge, I guess, of time. We're 8 minutes late today. I knew that it wasn't going to last, us being on time, but there's always that ish. How's it going on your end?
No. We are on time. Pre-stream was before 8 o'clock. That shit is on fucking time.
All right, I'll accept that.
Yeah, you will.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I guess everything's pretty good. As I said earlier in chat, I just finished doing the base editing for Metal Beer Horror Episode 5. So,
Very
that's
cool.
good.
It's about time we got that going on. We still need to get to episode 4, but hey, that's on me. I accept full responsibility for the lost episode.
Hey, I fixed it on my end, and then I uploaded it. It should be good now. That link should be working that I sent everybody.
Okay, cool. Then, yeah, I guess what I'll do is I'll review both of those episodes, and we'll get them out to you guys as soon as possible. Like, really soon, because we've been sitting on MBH for a long time now.
Yeah, and I want everyone... I know it's old. We recorded episode 4 back in February, but I want you guys to listen to it. That episode is so goddamn good. I've listened to it a few times already. And I don't like listening to shit that I talk on. I don't. It's... Like, I get it. I get why, like... actors and actresses don't like to watch movies they're in. I get it now. When you're sitting there and you're listening to your own voice for like an hour and a half, you're just like, oh God, how could anyone stand me? I can't even stand me. But episode 4 is so goddamn good. It's so funny. It's a treat, man. I can't wait for you guys to hear it.
Yeah, I agree, and can echo that sentiment. I haven't re-listened to it, and I'm really looking forward to it. But it was weird when we were recording that because I felt like kind of out of body. You know what I mean? Like when you step out of yourself for a second and kind of just like assess the room, see what's all happening around you, and like I feel like episode 4 captured the essence of our friendship. You know, over the last 15, 20 years, however long it's been, and It's just crazy how much momentum we had and how like we got our groove. You know what I mean? Like the first few episodes, we definitely captured who we are and everything like that. But it felt like in episode 4, we finally got that footing that we shook off all the other crap, and then like we're truly ourselves. And then we went on a huge hiatus, like a ridiculous hiatus. And, dare I say, episode 5, we got those jitters again. I want to say jitters, but like we definitely didn't have the flow we had in episode 4. But, with us being back on track, I think we're going to be able to work all that out.
Well, I wouldn't say we're back on track yet. I mean, we don't have...
we still have to schedule the next recording.
Yeah, it's not like we got anything else in the can right now, so...
We're getting there, man. We took a long break, and I think we just need to get our footing scheduling-wise back on track, and then we'll see more episodes, more frequent, more content, things like that.
Well, we do have some good things to announce, though. We got some good, fun things.
I love fun things.
Yeah. So October is going to be a bit of a busy month for us. We got a couple events planned for everybody. Starting with a Halloween stream. Ooh, that'll be fun.
Halloween, yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to doing something different. I actually checked the calendar and I was like, when the hell is Halloween this year? And it falls on podcast night. So I'm like, I don't do anything on a Wednesday night usually other than this. And certainly I don't think there's any parties or anything of that nature going on. So I figure, hey, let's do something different on Halloween.
Mm. Yeah. So we are going to do a live commentary episode.
Oh yeah.
As far as I know, it's just going to be you and me.
Right now, yeah. Currently, I'm going to see about getting the other MBH guys involved. I wouldn't count on LR because he loves passing out candy a little too much, a little bit creepy. But I think we could probably get Tom on board for sure.
Yeah, Tom, I think, would definitely join us. But thinking about it, it might be hard for him. He doesn't have a computer.
That is true. We'll work everything out, I think. You know, we're still in the early planning stages of this. We have a little bit of time to figure everything out, work out the kinks. I don't know if we zeroed in on a movie. I think we were kicking around one of the Halloween movies, obviously. I'm voting for one of the bad ones, just because we could have fun with it. And, you know, I don't know your thoughts.
Well, I thought we had planned to do a double feature live commentary of 4 and 5 one episode.
That could be fun. I'd be A-okay with that.
So, I guess not doing 4 or 5 would be ideal. I mean, if you want to do a bad one, I guess we could do like a Resurrection. I think I've only seen like parts of it just because it was just that bad.
You know, like when I think bad Halloween movies, I always go to 4 and 5. Even though, like, I mean, they're not overly bad.
No, they are.
The Mask is bad, but they have some cool Halloween moments in them, I think. But I put Resurrection so far out of my mind that I'm just like, it doesn't even exist to me. I maintain that Resurrection should have ended after the first 15 minutes when Michael Myers hands that, like, nut job the knife. Credits rolled, and I would have absolutely been satisfied. But then the second half of the film happens, or the second, third, or whatever you want to call it. And it just, it's crazy. So yeah, that's a good idea.
That movie should have ended 15 minutes before it even fucking started.
like after we get our popcorn, it should have been done.
They shouldn't even have gotten through like all the trailers that played before that movie. They should have did 2 trailers and then roll credits.
Yes, but if it ended then, we would not be having the best quote from the Halloween series of all time from our man Busta Rhymes.
Oh yeah, God, what did he say again? Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Oh my God! I swear, if I ever meet Busta Rhymes, he is signing that. I'm not even gonna get an album. I'm a fan of Busta Rhymes' music, but I'm not even gonna get him to sign anything like that. I'm getting him to sign a Halloween print.
You ever realize that whenever there's a rapper in a horror movie, he always lives?
Mm-hmm.
You can kill every other black guy in a movie, but if he's a rapper in real life, that is, he lives. Think about it. Hang on a second. I'm going off the rails here, going off script.
Oh, God.
LL Cool J was in Halloween H2O. He was also in Deep Blue Sea. He lived in both movies. Even though he looked like he was dead in the H2O, he came back. So LL Cool J survived Michael Myers and a giant mutated shark. Did Busta Rhymes die?
I don't think so.
No, neither do I.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I really don't think he died.
So he lived. Ice-T is in Leprechaun Back to the Hood. He lives.
I think I should stop you here, and I think you found the article that you should be writing.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna lie. That's all I could think about. So it's a good thing you stopped me. I couldn't even think of another horror movie with a rapper in it.
You don't admit that. There's plenty more. Just wait for.
Oh, I'm sure there is. Tales from the Hood. I'm sure there's a rapper in that, isn't there?
Snoop Dogg isn't he involved in that movie?
Yeah, I think he's involved. I don't know if he was actually in it.
Or was I don't know. I kind of want to research this now. Let's cancel the episode. Let's start researching. No, that's crazy. That's an interesting observation.
So yeah, so we're doing that on Halloween. We'll knock down a time, probably close to our normal time, and we'll knock down an exact movie. Very soon, we'll let everybody know about that. We are also planning on doing some type of similar mid-October event like we did last year on my channel. One of those crazy long streams with all kinds of good stuff going on.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun last year, and it's pretty much what kicked off everything related to this show. We're 36 episodes deep after having done that show over on your channel. We had all sorts of fun stuff. We had trivia, we had script discussions, game streaming. You read the script that you started to write for a Friday the 13th film. Like, we had quite a few viewers and a lot of people just hanging out, coming in, listening to some bullshit about random stuff, and just hang out and enjoy horror and gaming and such. So I'm aiming for it to be very similar to that, and it'd be a fun time. The best part is it's going to be on a weekend, so it's not going to be this weird schedule of sorts. We're going to start it relatively, I guess, early, maybe early-ish, and just have fun. Just do a bunch of different things.
Is that the day we're planning on? Being that we go through with it, that's when we're going to do the giveaway we're planning?
Yes, I think it's best to do it on the weekend. We could do the giveaway during a commentary, but like how many people show up on a Wednesday versus how many people could show up on a Saturday. I think we should opt for the Saturday potential. So yeah, it would be mid-October. The date that I'm penciling right now is October 20th. So we have Halloween to talk about, the Halloween screening that we are possibly going to be doing, and a whole bunch of other things.
Very cool. So yes, we'll be doing that. Right now we're in the midst of planning another Dead Entertainment giveaway.
Yeah, I liked what you said earlier about it being kind of like a trick-or-treat bag. We're going to give you some tricks and treats, and everybody on the staff of Dead Entertainment's kind of pitching in different things that they have. We're not just going through our garage seeing, hey, here's a tire iron or a half-filled container of oil.
This bottle opener could be yours, people. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Hey, but there are going to be treats. So there's going to be some interesting things in the bag. I'm hearing a bunch of things from the staff and what people are going to contribute, and I'm dying already. I think it's going to be great. I gotta see what else we can put into this thing. It's going to be fun. How we're going to give it away, we haven't decided yet, but maybe we should make them wait till 3 o'clock in the morning and do a trivia contest again.
Yeah,
which was hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we're going to go about this, but I'm hoping that whoever wins this box o' mystery either records themselves opening it so they can go through this stuff and be like, whoa, this is really cool, and then be like, the fuck is this?
Totally. You know what we should do? The winner, we should send them a legal document that they have to sign, and if they win this stuff, they have to do an unboxing of it, because now, this idea of them being both tricks and treats, it has my brain running right now, and it's going to be fun. So to see an unboxing of a Dead Entertainment trick-or-treat bag will be a blast, and we'll probably feature it on the website too if you're enthusiastic enough.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. I'm looking around in my basement right now. I'm like, what could I throw in there just to fuck with these people?
I'm watching you on the webcam right now. Your eyes are beaming all over the room.
I'm like, there's an old light bulb over there. That's kind of cool. Some bottle cap, I swear to God, there's gonna be some cool stuff in there.
Yeah, but now you got me looking around my office. I'm just like, what the hell's going on? What can I put in this thing?
All right, so I think that's it for, I guess, all the stuff we want to talk about and announce.
Yeah, let's get to it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, so like we do every episode, we are going to start off with horror news.
It's a horror fiction, still a screen addiction. Cinematic gore and murder, it's horror fiction, not a fact prediction. Movies cannot make you a killer, it's a horror fiction.
All right, so Fangoria. Everybody who's a horror fan knows what Fangoria is, and if you don't, well, that's a little concerning, right? Fangoria, though. Fangoria magazine, to be more specific, where that all started, is returning. It is returning in October. They had gone through, I think it was a bit of financial issues and a couple other internal drama, and they closed up shop. What was it, about a year ago? Maybe a little longer?
Yeah, that sounds about right. There was this weird period of like restructuring and attempting to do less magazines in a year and make it more of a specialty, larger magazine, and then it just kind of went away.
Well, they're coming back. And it really couldn't come at a better time.
Yeah, I agree.
With new Halloween movie coming out, seems like a great time to reintroduce one of the original horror magazines. I mean, unless you want to go back, I don't know, and another 30 plus years from when Fangoria first came onto the scene. You want to count Monster Times. But
I think Fangoria is more responsible for bringing like horror to the mainstream, like influencing an entire generation, like our generation, to be as obsessed with the horror genre as we are. Because this is pretty much the only way we could get our news and find out what's going on in the world, other than stopping off at the local video store and seeing what's new or renting something old.
Oh man, back in the days where if you had internet, you were like the coolest kid ever, and everybody else is still going to a corner store or Barnes and Noble or a bookstore of some sort, or they had a subscription, and they're getting everything through magazines. And I'm not just talking about horror; they're getting all their game news and movie news, all that good stuff. I mean, I had subscriptions to GamePro and EGM2. I never had a subscription to Fangoria. I would pick one up every once in a while when I happen to be at Barnes and Noble, because they carried that, and Rue Morgue.
Mm-hmm.
But I never actually had subscriptions to them.
Yeah, I never did either. The same sort of way. I would get it at Barnes and Noble. I can't even tell you how many times I was kicked out of Barnes and Noble for sitting there reading the magazine when I was broke. But Fangoria was one of the magazines that was always on my stack. I would always buy like Metal Hammer and Metal Insight or Hit Parade, or I forget all the metal magazines I used to buy. I used to buy a stack of them, but Fangoria was always there, like right on top of that stack. And I would just, when I had the money to, it came home with me.
Yeah, I forgot about the metal magazines. Yeah, there's
Yeah, I was obsessed with them. I would buy like 5 of them, like 5 different ones. And I couldn't find Rue Morgue as much, to be honest. But Fangoria was, it was there always, just staring at me, saying, "I know I'm expensive, but pick me up because it'll be worth it."
Well, now it's coming back, and with how people are so fucking fascinated, and they're like, there's new love for everything that's old is cool again. Fucking people are going apeshit when a horror movie comes out on VHS. It's like, yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, no, I was just going through a store on a site, and I've been kind of waiting for a box set of like CDs to come out. Because I don't own actual CD copies of this one artist. and they're coming out with a box set, but it's cassette tapes. And I'm like, what the fuck? I am not paying $90 for a box set of cassette tapes. You know, like, no thank you. But I do see the value in a magazine. You know, like, they have a lot of competition as far as, like, the internet press goes and how instant it is. So it's going to make Fangoria kind of, like, shift focus onto, like, editorials and rare things that might not be, like, known about horror movies that haven't been picked up by the internet, and, you know, like, talking to, like, a FX guy or something like that, getting old photos, you know, things like that, to try to be different from the online journalists.
Yeah, and, you know, there's a big difference between fucking a magazine and a VHS or a cassette. You know what? You don't have to fucking run out and get something to read your magazine like you do for a cassette player or a cassette or a VHS. Like, I don't have a VHS player anymore. I don't have a cassette player. The fuck do I want that shit for?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
So a magazine has way more value, and I don't know. It's always fun going back and looking at really old magazines. I still actually have a couple, and a couple of video game magazines. And it's fun every once in a while going back and looking at them and just being like, wow, what the fuck? Magazines are sort of cool.
It's like a little time capsule to go back to. Like, I unfortunately don't have any of the horror stuff that I had back in the day when I was collecting. But I do have Weird New Jersey magazines, and I love to pick up one of those randomly, just sit on the couch, sit outside, and just flip through that. But now I'm not really going to have to, like, go back in time. You know, the fact that Fangoria is going to be back, and it's going to be pretty much a magazine we grew up loving, and probably more so these days. You know, like, it's going to be at our fingertips again, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think the only horror magazine I still have is the Freddy vs. Jason magazine that came out a few weeks before the movie dropped.
Nice, very cool.
Yeah, I think that's the only one I have. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. I guess at your local newsstands. I don't know. I don't even know who's going to carry it.
Or you could go to that nifty little link I posted in chat and subscribe to it.
Oh, look at you!
Yeah,
look at you! I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you Mungus on the spot.
But yeah, no, like us horror fans, we all love this genre. We always love to support it. We love to just freaking pretty much dig into anything that it throws at us. And here's another opportunity. You know, it's gonna. I have this feeling that it's gonna be you know, a special magazine. It's always been. It's probably always going to be, and it's worth the support. So, resubscribe if you have you had it before, or subscribe new.
So next on our list for horror news, The Nun. Massive box office hit. 131 million worldwide opening.
That's crazy.
Alright, I don't get it, but you know what? Anytime I see a horror movie, whether I like it or not, pulling those kind of numbers, it renews my faith in humanity a bit.
Yeah, I agree. Just the fact that we're in a world where a movie like a horror movie, the redheaded stepchild of most genres, is able to pull a good chunk of change like that. It's like, okay, it's still alive. It's not limping along like we pretty much assumed it was. But it's refreshing to see a movie that could come out, do some good business, and kind of get the producers excited again. You know, and excited producers that are ready to make money. Take chances on movies like The Conjuring, or, you know, these movies that basically took over the mainstream of horror. You know, like without movies like the Conjuring, you're basically not going to evolve any further. You know, like having a producer make a decent amount of money off of this will basically open up the doors for other films like this. So it's big success for everybody involved.
Yeah, but you got to remember, when a horror movie makes this kind of money and does this well at the box office, then it's no longer a horror movie by, like, all the critics.
That's true. What are they calling this one? A
I don't know.
religious thriller?
It's a religious awakening film. A coming of age of a young disturbed nun. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, it's always exciting when a film, regardless of the quality, in this genre, it takes the world by storm. And I haven't seen the most of the prequels or not the prequels, the spin-offs yet. But from what I'm hearing, this is not a great film, but people are eating it up for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ever gonna give this one a shot. About a year ago, everybody's telling me you gotta see The Conjuring, you gotta see The Conjuring 2, you gotta see Annabelle. And you know what? These are like the ghost and possession movies. I don't like them. I never liked them. But everyone was so fucking gung ho on these movies. So they happen to be playing on a movie channel. And I was like, all right, you know what? This is not going to kill me. I watched all 3 of those movies. I don't get it. But you know what? People like them. That's all that matters. I don't. I think they were boring as sin. And it's... I don't know. I didn't find them in the remotely scary, disturbing, or good. But, again, that particular subgenre of horror is not my subgenre. I don't care for it. I never have. So that's probably why I'm not a big fan of it. And obviously, it's why I'm not a big fan of the Conjuring universe. But again, it's doing well. It's putting horror back in a place where it needs to be. Regardless of if I like the movie or not, it's still doing wonders for the genre, and that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I know you never really were big on the old possession genre. Personally, I was getting really, really tired of all the ghost movies, the PG-13 ghost movies of the 2000s, and for me, I've been like very fond of the demonic possession genre, but it never really had balls. You had releases that kind of tried to follow the platform that the ghost movies of the 2000s set forth. And when The Conjuring came out, everybody was saying you have to see it, it's the scariest thing ever. And then after Paranormal Activity and all this, the hype behind those films, you're just like, okay, I've heard this fucking line before. It's not nearly good, or it's not going to be nearly as scary as everyone's saying it's going to be, or saying that it is. And I decided to give The Conjuring a shot. I'm a big fan of Vera Farmiga, and what's the other guy's name?
No.
He was I forget his name. He was in The Watchmen. In any case, it's not important. But I decided to give it a shot because I like the actors, and I was a fan of James Wan and what he's been doing for like the last 15 or so years. And The Conjuring held up. It to me, it lived up to the expectations that a lot of people put out there in their excitement, and I was pretty psyched about it. Conjuring 2, I don't really remember too much. It was one of those. I was way too tired in the theater to see it, and I kind of dropped off after that. But to see, everything continue, and the genre and the series, the franchise, like continuing to go strong and, dare I say, like escalate, with each film, it's pretty exciting, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it does and who it inspires, in the coming years.
Yeah, it's only going to do good for the genre. So you know what? It gets my thumbs up in that regard. But don't ask me to try to watch it again. Don't ask me for my overall opinions on the movie. They all were putting me to sleep. I can't find my groove when I watch a possession movie. And it's just, I don't know. There's just something about them. I mean, maybe it was the 6,000 Paranormal Activity movies before it that just pissed me off. But just not for me. Alright, so the new Halloween movie premiered.
It did.
And there were reactions. Lots of reactions.
There were. It was really funny. I was like on Twitter, it was like almost 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just continuously refreshing the Halloween #Halloween movie. and I was watching as everybody was getting out of the theater, and I know I was like living close to the sun there. I don't want to see spoilers. I don't want to hear spoilers, and I had a feeling that there probably were going to be in that hashtag.
Yeah,
but I still took the chance, and the excitement coming out of that film. It's my excitement levels are getting higher as a result.
Yeah, everything I was reading, I think I read one person who didn't hate the film, but wasn't overly happy with it. But almost every other review I read, they say the movie's special, and a lot of them said it's the best Halloween movie since the original. So, it's hard not to be excited for that. Even me, as someone like me who's not a big fan of the Halloween franchise to begin with, I respect the franchise. All right, no, that's a big fat fucking lie. I respect the first two movies. And I don't count part 3 in the franchise because it's a standalone movie. But I respect the first 2 films. The rest can just go eat all the dicks.
All of them.
All the dicks. All right. But I respect those first 2 films. I respect everything that those movies did for horror, did for the slasher genre. Honestly, Halloween really helped garner in the slasher genre. It came after Mario Bava's Bay of Blood, also known as Twitch of the Death Nerve, which by a lot of people is really considered the first slasher movie, but that never got a whole lot of mainstream attention. This did. Atmosphere. Atmosphere is very important to me in a movie. And if a movie can nail a perfect atmosphere, it's already gotten... It's going to get high marks from me just from that fact alone. Then you have a score. Well, there are not too many more iconic scores than Carpenter's Halloween score from 1978. I mean, I don't want to say it's perfect, but it might be. But listen to it from the first movie. Don't listen to it from like part 4 and 5. It got all kind of dancey and funky. It was like a fucking disco remix in those movies. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. But in the pacing was another thing in that first movie. Man, it's a slow burn, but it is like the best slow burn ever. So when people, fans, reviewers, critics are saying this is the best Halloween movie since the first one, that's great. That makes me feel really good. But when you look at the other Halloween films, it's like, no, it's not a whole lot. That's not a massive accomplishment. All right, it's better than part 2. And I love part 2. It's one of my favorite films, actually. But, to say this film is better than part 4 and part 5 and part 6 and H2O and Resurrection, it's like, well, I could film a better Halloween sequel in my bathroom, It's with my iPhone. It's not a massive accomplishment.
But I'm not looking into it like that, with that sort of eye. When I hear it's the best from the first one, since the first one, I don't look at it as, well, the rest of the series sucks, so, it's serviceable. Like, I look at it as this film goes toe-to-toe with the original as far as quality goes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to eventually get at. But it's just kind of funny when you think about it. It's like, oh my god, it's almost one of the best ones in the franchise. It's like, well, there's only fucking 2 watchable movies in the franchise. It's like, that's not a massive accomplishment. If this was a Friday the 13th movie and they said, oh my god, it's just as good as part 3 or part 4. It's like, well, part 3 and part 4, they're great flicks. Or it's the best one in the franchise since part 4 or part 6. Part 6 is typically considered the favorite in the franchise. It's like, well, all right, that's great because the Friday the 13th series has, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. It's got like 5 to 7 good films in that franchise. So that's a high mark there. But the Halloween franchise, there ain't a whole lot to really compare it to there.
Yeah, the quality of the later films dropped off significantly. Like, I don't know if it's the overplaying of 4 and 5 that made me hate it, or the bad mask. But like, I'm trying to like be objective here and just like look at them for what they are. And Halloween 4 and 5 and 6, they don't achieve much that the original 2 did. What they did do was kind of like really capture specific moments that are memorable, and the rest of the movies are forgettable, unfortunately. Like you have the whole Jamie Lloyd stuff, which is interesting. Like the whole Thorn stuff, depending on which movie you watch, with the Halloween 6, that's good. You know, they have great moments in those movies, surrounded by a terrible and convoluted plot line that just makes you groan the entire time. And like, who would have thought that they couldn't really get those movies right, like down the road? But Friday the 13th, which is, you know, like a similar sort of like method, a similar sort of path to follow. You know, like, why couldn't they keep slight quality going and achieve like decent films like the Friday franchise did? I don't know if it was a lack of care, bad writing, or whatnot, but they didn't achieve nearly as much as that franchise, or dare I say, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Hey, 4 and 5, Dream Master and Dream Child are way more watchable than fucking The Return and The Revenge of Michael Myers. And let's not even get me fucking started on The Curse of Michael Myers. Put it this way: when a movie features Paul Rudd and it's just awful, like when Paul Rudd can't save a fucking movie, then you got a problem on your hand. Because I mean, that guy could make watching paint dry enjoyable.
I actually like Part 6. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's the summer that I watched it. Maybe it was sleeping over at my buddy's house with some friends and just basically binging that movie because that's the only horror movie he had.
That's an awful childhood.
Like, I remember the 2 movies we used to watch. It was like terrible. Like Curse of Michael Myers, and it was because like he was one of the only people around in a friend group that had that on VHS. And we'd watch Major Pain. Remember that movie?
Oh my god, with Marlon Wayans?
Yeah, like those were the weekend films.
God, his parents should fucking be sent to prison. That's child abuse.
Shout out to my buddy Carmine.
Man, fucking growing up with those 2 films, that is a good case for suicide.
So I'm starting to think that I was kind of brainwashed into liking Part 6. Again, like Part 4 and 5, 6 has moments. It has some great scenes that just didn't translate well in the overall scheme of the movie. So, you know, and plus the fucking spike through the head. Like, why was there a random spike in a hospital? Remember that scene?
No.
In the very beginning, he's like in the hospital, and there's this like spike on the wall. I don't know if it was wall decoration or what, but he puts the nurse's head through it. So I admire the use of the random spike on the wall. I'm just trying to understand the thought process behind putting a spike on the wall. Is it a carpentry thing? Did they think it looked good or what? But in any case, well, that's here nor there. The remake or the reboot, the sequel, whatever hell you want to call it, it seems to be like on a solid path to becoming a very well talked about film, at least one that could stand its own ground with the original, which, you know, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it because of it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good time. I guess I don't know if it's really a spoiler, but it was nice. It was nice to know. You know, I'm not even gonna say it. It's not really a spoiler, but I guess maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, I hit the brakes on something else too. You know, like it is basically it's a semi spoiler as to one of like the reasons certain people are like, okay, I'm not really into this film, but it's very minor, and this is a good way to put it. one of the complaints I've seen is that the film plays it safe. And that's all I'm going to say. In the coming weeks, when we actually see it, we'll be able to talk about it a little bit more. And I don't see playing it safe as a problem. I think it's good, to keep things, I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to leave it there.
All right. So before we say something spoilery, let's go ahead and move on to the next piece of horror news here. You want to take this one? This is more your alley here.
Yeah, I suppose. I gotta get the information in front of me, but
while I
John Carpenter's.
I'm gonna go grab a beer real quick.
Yes, man. All right. So basically, on top of the Halloween sequel that's coming out into theaters October 19th, we also have some great 40th anniversary events being planned and being set into motion. The first that excuse me, that we've heard of was an event that's happening across the country with Cinépolis Theaters. If you've never heard of the theater, it's a hugely popular theater in Mexico, and it's kind of been like slowly making its way into the country. There's theaters all over the place in in America that it's basically slowly becoming a household name. And what they're planning to do is they're releasing the original Halloween film, John Carpenter's 1978 original, on Tuesday, October 30th. It's after the sequel comes out, but right in time for Halloween. Very fitting, right? The thing that's going to be special about it is it's going to be taking place in theaters, and each theater is going to have different opportunities and events that go along with it. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to be saying it, but fuck it. I'm giving them free promotion. There's going to be some drink specials at the theater chains that have bars. There's going to be possibly collector cups or items or stirs that are very Halloween related. So obviously keep a look at your local location to see what exactly they're planning for the event. I'm also hearing rumors that they're going to be bringing in somebody dressed up as Michael Myers for photo opportunities and having exclusive limited edition Halloween merchandise available at these events. So each place is going to be different, but each place is going to be exciting, which is great. So right now, it seems like the locations that are in play is there's a slew of them in California. It seems to be a very strong place over there. There's going to be a New York City event at the Chelsea, Florida, Victory Park, Hamlin, Jupiter, and Davenport. And New Jersey has 3 locations that they're going to be, doing this event at, as well as Texas, Ohio, Connecticut. Basically, there's a ton of places. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link the article that we wrote on Dead Entertainment with the information, and I'm going to put it in the chat. So if you're interested in one of these events, you could basically take a look and see what you're going to do. I'm also hearing that the full slate of events and activities that's going to be involved with this event is going to be released this coming week. So keep an eye on deadentertainment.com because we're going to have a big, very detailed article go up as soon as the information gets put out there. We might have a mole in the company, with some information. But, like I said, I'm going to link this in the chat real quick. On top of this, it seems like another company is going to be doing the same sort of thing by releasing the Halloween 1978 film with a 4K Ultra HD remastering, I guess you want to call it.
I don't know if I like that though. I want it grainy and gritty and old.
Totally. And right? I was even skeptical about going to see the event that's taking place in on the 30th, because I've already seen Halloween in theaters, the original. Not when it came out, but I saw a 35mm print at a local, I guess, it's a local movie marathon called Hudson Horror. And fun fact about that Halloween print, it was aged and so poor that it had an orange and yellow hue to it. And it wasn't done for the sake of style, but that's just what aging did to that film. So I have the best, in my opinion, viewing of Halloween 78. So it's gonna be weird to see a a situation where they put it out with 4K remastering. They're gonna CGI like Laurie's parents in there or something, like they did with Star Wars. Like it Hayden Christensen in there. Who could tell?
Yeah, maybe I'll go to that. Maybe I'll go to this event. I don't know.
You should go.
Some older movies I don't mind when they're remastered. Like one movie where I wish would get remastered because it's so goddamn dark to watch is Friday the 13th Part 4. I don't know why, but that movie is darker than sin, bro. It's fucking ridiculous how dark that movie is. But Halloween...
Yeah, no, I agree.
Halloween, I think it's fine. I really... I don't remember ever having a problem watching Halloween. It's perfect. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. Don't.
I don't mind them like cleaning it up for the sake of Blu-ray, because the gratiness and noise, it definitely can get a little distracting with huge TV. At this point in time, how much more are you going to clean it up? You know what I mean? Like, I get 4K technology is a thing, and re-releasing these films and making us buy them over and over and over and over again is also a thing. But at the same time, it's like, come on, like, do we really need to see that freckle on Laurie's face? Or that detail on Michael Myers' mask? Maybe some do. I don't. So, that's where I stand as far as it goes. But, yeah, I'm hoping that you do the Sinopolis event with me on the 30th. That would be fun. It would be a good way to kind of, like, get in the spirit of Halloween with us having a stream the next night.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll definitely look into it and consider it.
Right on. So yeah, deadentertainment.com this coming week. There's going to be more information on the Sinopolis 40th anniversary event. We're going to have a article go up live minutes after the information hits the web. So, yeah, look on our site for it.
All right, so kind of one of the bigger pieces of news that got dropped in the last few days in the horror world is, surprise, surprise, another remake. Now, for anyone who read my remakes article that I put out a couple weeks back, you'll know that personally, I'm not against all remakes. Some remakes I absolutely love. Some I don't. Some movies don't need to be remade. Some do. I have kind of like a set of rules when it comes to remaking films. Well, the latest horror franchise and iconic villain from the horror world that will be remade is Candyman. Now, Candyman is not that old of a film or franchise. So, before I get into what I think about this movie being remade, what are your opinions here?
I don't think it needs to be remade. It's a very solid movie. It lives up. It holds up surprisingly well. The age of the film itself, like when you rewatch it, you could definitely tell that it was filmed in the early 90s. But I think that adds a charm to it. It gives it that feel where, I guess the feeling that we had as kids when we were watching movies from the 70s, it's part of an era where we're not nearly close to anymore, even though for like me and you, it probably feels like yesterday. But it like I said, it adds a charm to it, and it's perfect in pretty much every sense of the word. The acting's fantastic. The casting is great. The story is incredible. However, one thing that seems to be, like a big thing with modern day is it's like pulling teeth to get people or modern generation, or the generation that's happening right now, millennials, whatever you want to call them, to go out, sit down, and watch a movie that came out in 1992. And for whatever reason, whether it be cell phones, I'm sounding like an old man here. Whatever reason, the attention span and the appreciation for a film like this, kind of goes unappreciated, I guess. Like it's just a weird sort of era that we're living in. So to see a film like this get updated for a generation like today, or at least get a new take on it to open up and introduce this great story to the people of today, I think it's a good opportunity. Does it need to be remade? Not a chance. Should it be? It could be. Personally, I think they should go the route of Halloween and sequelize it, kind of reboot it for the audience of today and give us a continued story.
Okay. All right. Well, first of all, yeah, it doesn't need to be remade. I mean, most movies don't need to be remade. But as I said, I have a set of rules when it comes to remaking films. Now, anyone who knows me knows that the 1990 Tom Savini Night of the Living Dead remake, one of my all-time favorite films, my all-time favorite remake, and it's one of the only remakes that I feel is better than the original. I'm not going to get into why I feel that way, I just do. And I have my reasons. I have plenty of good reasons why.
Well, I mean, there's a chance we might be getting into that this month.
Yes, we won't.
Hint, hint.
Now, that was 1990, and now they were remaking a film from 1968. Now, at that point, it had been 5 years since Day of the Dead was released, and it had been, 32 years since Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah, quite a few.
So I think 30 years, give or take, maybe 25, is a good amount of time to wait before you consider remaking a film. Alright, now that's just one of my rules. Friday the 13th, that movie got a remake. I was not mad about that remake, and I'm the biggest Friday the 13th fan there is. Why wasn't I mad about that? Well, that franchise kind of fucked itself. Alright, that franchise... Again, if you read my article from a few weeks back, I'm just repeating everything that I wrote in my article. That franchise wrote itself into a fucking corner. Thank you, Jason X. And there was no fucking saving it. You couldn't do anything at that point. Jason X fucking ruined it. Alright, whether you like the film or not is moot. Because just where that film went, just fucking... Yeah, there was no coming back from it. Alright, at that point, the Friday the 13th timeline that started in 1980 was officially fucking dead. Alright, so a remake at that point, A-okay in my book. Nightmare on Elm Street, nah. And thankfully the Friday the 13th remake, pretty good movie. Nightmare on Elm Street, that remake, well, I'm okay with that remake. Not that I like that remake. That's a completely different story. That's a different fucking topic altogether.
That's a different episode.
That fucking remake is the remake that we do not speak of. But in terms of me being okay with the movie actually being remade, I am. Why? It falls under a different rule of mine. Wes Craven's New Nightmare put a wonderful capper on the original timeline and franchise. At that point, you don't make a sequel to it. There is no sequel needed, or no sequel that's going to make any fucking sense after Wes Craven's New Nightmare. New Nightmare is quite possibly like the best ending to a big horror franchise. It really tied everything together so nicely, and it worked so goddamn well that you do not ruin it by continuing it. Let it die, or not die, but let it, I don't know, fester? I don't know. Let it be. Let's just do that. Let it be. Start new. That's why I was okay when they said they were remaking Nightmare on Elm Street. Then they did it, and then I really wasn't okay. I'm still not okay.
I don't think many of us are.
I actually paid money to go see that fucking garbage.
I saw it twice.
Oh, good fucking Lord.
Yeah, friends deciding to go on different nights.
Yeah, well, get new friends.
Yeah, well, that's another topic.
Then you have the Child's Play remake coming up. That I am not okay with. So why am I okay with Friday the 13th, Candyman, Nightmare on Elm Street, but not Child's Play? Child's Play is a living, breathing entity still. It is a working well franchise that still has blood in the original timeline. Don't fucking touch it. Candyman died. Candyman, that original franchise, right? It's been a while. At this point, you need to modernize it, maybe change up the story a little bit, bring it into modern times, and reintroduce this wonderful horror character to the gen pop of now. Everybody knows who Chucky is. We just got another amazing sequel about a year ago. Don't fucking touch it. Just continue it. There's so much more to tell in that fucking story, and that's why I'm not okay with that remake. But Candyman, I can live with. Now, again, we don't need a remake, but I think it could be fun. I think it could be really, really, really cool. You know, who do they attach?
Right now, it's rumored that Jordan Peele's production company is involved in this remake, and you know, this rumors are obviously swirling that Jordan Peele might take the film on himself, and apparently he's a huge fan of the movie. So after the success of Get Out, after how good of a film Get Out was, I could totally see him going and putting a whole new spin on this. Now, personally, I think that they really should sequelize / reboot, because at this point in time, like, who's gonna touch Tony Todd? Like, I think he would be scarier now as an older man as Candyman than he was back then. I would say, even if you remake it, bring back Tony Todd, because good lord, he is fantastic.
Yeah, it's hard. You know, when you're...
Or they could just cast, Idris Elba. I mean, that would be a great Candyman. I'm glad you laughed at that one.
Yeah. Well, we already had that conversation.
Yep, that's just a little inside joke from earlier with Idris Elba basically being up for every role ever. So yeah, I'd be okay with that. Sure, why not?
Yeah, it's hard when you have an iconic, character played by one person for so long, and then you got to recast them. My opinion on that: if they don't choose to bring Tony Todd back, which I think they could, but I would be okay if they don't. But, and this is a really, really big but, what you need to do is you need to bring Tony Todd in as some type of producer and allow him to give the final okay to who he hands his torch over to, or should I say Hook and
I
Bees.
like that.
Let him give the final okay on who takes over the Hook.
Yeah, I would love to see him involved in casting, to some capacity. And I know a lot of studios like to shake the towel or rug free of anything related to the past. Maybe they'll bring in, somebody that was involved in one of the films as a cameo, but they like to keep the slate clean. But I think Jordan Peele would respect Tony Todd and everything that's come before a little too much to close the door on him. So I think that would be really cool to see his involvement, and knowing his the way he approaches acting. I think that would be pretty much invaluable to the whole casting process, as well as who ends up taking over the Hook.
And another reason why I'm saying give Tony Todd that final decision is Tony Todd is no stranger to remakes. All right, may I remind you that he did play Ben in Tom Savini's Night of the Living Dead remake.
That he did, and did a hell of a job.
Hell yeah, he did.
He was fucking awesome in that movie. And, I'm sure he made Dwayne Jones proud.
Mm-hmm. So, not only does he have experience in this realm, I think he'll help pick out someone worthy. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It doesn't necessarily have to be a black actor. I think we're kind of... No, dude. No. There ain't no controversy.
I'm curious about what you're about to say here.
I know. I just think we're beyond that point now. You know, there's still going to be people that are going to bitch about it because that's just what fanboys do. But I think we're over that hump now where white characters can be played by black actors, and you know, as long as it's not overly pertinent to the story, you know, a white actor can play a black character, you know, vice versa, and all that stuff. I think we're really to that point now where I think it's going to be okay. And it's actually going to lead us into another topic after this. Which
are we gonna tack that one on?
Oh,
I might not have tacked that on, but I like it. We'll see. I don't know. The only problem I would have with that concept in this particular case is the story of Candyman. He came from a slave background and such. And
I know. I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, they would really have to twist that story to, I guess focus on a white hardship, but that's a little difficult, and I think it'll go a little bit too controversial.
No.
Controversial.
I think you can make it work in a really great way. Hear me out here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hear me out. So, the character of the Candyman came from a slave background. Mm-hmm. So, let's say they go the route. I'm not expecting them to, and that's fine. I'm just saying I would be okay with it. So let's say they go with the white actor who played Candyman. Well, how about you can't really reverse those roles, right? You can't really, white slavery. You can't do that. But
no, not at all.
No. That is not cool. But what you can do is mix it up, throw a bit of controversy in there. Maybe this Candyman came from a family who owned a plantation. Maybe, this character's father, he owned a plantation, right? He owned slaves. And this new Candyman, this white Candyman, maybe he fell in love with a slave. And then the family disowned him. And then, right? You go some kind of controversial route like that, where it still has meaning. The character still has meaning in not the same way, but in a similar fashion as the original.
Definitely, it's very similar in I guess exactly what you said. It's similar in fashion, and it also takes the focus on one social commentary and puts it onto another social commentary,
which in today's world,
very important.
Yeah, exactly. Which in today's world would mean so much.
It's really interesting, and I know, if you're listening and getting all enraged or whatever you're listening to this, and saying, "Oh, it's Whitey trying to take something," it's actually it's really interesting because it touches on the whole racial divide, and coming together, and how it wasn't accepted in the world back then, and it's still not accepted in the world today. And it's it's interesting sort of commentary. That what, I could give you that. I don't think that's going to be the way it's going to go.
No,
down.
Neither do I. But that was just a kind of a cool, what if.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting thing, and you might see something like that happen in it. With how heavy how important the commentary was in Get Out. I could totally see the way they handle this film to be on equal ground with the original, or more important as far as the way it views the world. I think it's going to be a film that we need right now.
Yeah. So the short end of this one is I'm okay with this remake. Bring Tony Todd in. If you don't bring him in as Candyman, I'm fine with that. But just give him say. Let him have final say on who carries the torch and who summons the bees. Not the bees.
That's one.
All right, so that is going to do it for us on horror news and all horror goodies this week. But we still have some good, juicy geek and comic news. All right. You added something here.
Yeah, because you set it up.
That's no. That's not what I was. That's not what I was referring to.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with that crap again.
All right, that's fine. That's fine.
I already dealt with idiots on Twitter about that shit. I'm not fucking not doing it again.
I thought that's what you were setting up, so I added it. So.
No. All right, I will move into what I was setting up once we get to it.
Okay.
Because there's actually a really good opening for it. So first in the world of comic and geekiness, Derek Mears, who, if you're not familiar with, played Jason Voorhees in the 2009 Friday the 13th remake, who's also
known as the nicest guy ever.
Yeah, it's scary how nice this dude is in person. And you're looking at him and you're like, yeah, he's gonna murder me. And he just wants to give you a hug.
Oh, absolutely. Like, you can't even describe him. Like, if you have the opportunity to meet Derek Mears, take it. I don't care if you got to pay for it to get into a convention or whatnot. Stop over and shake the man's hand because he's one of the best out there.
Yeah, without a freaking doubt, man. He's been cast to play Swamp Thing in the Swamp Thing series.
That's going to be awesome. You know, I've been waiting for him to kind of take some more roles in this. I was really hoping that Friday the 13th would be, you know, just him taking kind of like a Doug Jones situation. Remember when Doug Jones, basically, he was cast in Hellboy and he became every movie monster ever after that? I was really hoping Derek Mears would have that same sort of thing, but he kept it kind of low key. He's done, you know, a bunch of films, TV work, and he's also part of an improv troupe. I forgot the name of their troupe, but yeah, oddly enough, that the nicest, most evil-looking guy in the world is also an improver. But it's you know, I was really hoping that he would keep going on that path, and it came late, but better late than never. So I'm looking forward to that. The one thing about this is he's not going to be playing Alec Holland, the human version of Swamp Thing. He's going to be focused on the monster portion.
Yeah, I am not really familiar with Swamp Thing. I remember there was a couple movies, or one or two movies, and wasn't there an old TV series too?
I'm not sure if there's a TV series before the movies. There could have been. I do remember the cartoon very fondly. I grew up with that, and also the two movies.
I could have swore there was a Swamp Thing. There was. I knew there was. 1990 to 1993. I fucking remember it.
That's weird. I gotta look that up. I know. Is it a television, like
live action? Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I've only seen the two movies, and like I got a special place in my heart for part 2. It's really bad, but it's great too at the same time. A lot of fun.
Yeah. I probably won't watch this because it's gonna be, I believe, on DC streaming service network, whatever it is, and I pay enough for streaming services right now, so I'll be shit out of luck on this one. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to checking this out. Like I said, I've always enjoyed Swamp Thing. Oddly enough, I never really got into the Swamp Thing comics, so that's a whole another universe that I don't know too much about outside of the movies. But a series I'm very cool with. You know, it's gonna kind of bring back some memories. We're gonna see Derek Mears as this crazy big swamp monster, and you know, everything's right in the world.
Pretty much. So I'm noticing our next topic, the topic after that, you did have it. I didn't even notice. The one that
Okay.
I was leaning towards.
Oh, I see what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Put everything down, and I've just lost it in my head.
So moving on into the big news of today. So I don't know if we have any DC fans out there, or particularly, you know, DCEU fans. Well, Steppenwolf might not have won in Justice League, but he did kill. Somehow Superman is now dead. Henry Cavill is no longer Superman. The cape is gone.
That really threw me off today with hearing this news.
Yeah, I guess they digitally removed them from the DCEU.
Oh, I'm sorry, any DC fans just tuning in now for that. Actually, I'm not, because that's great.
So, Superman gone, and there have been rumors for God knows how long that Ben Affleck is Batman. He's gone.
Yeah, according to the New York Post, the rumors of Cavill leaving is making the whole Ben Affleck situation come to the surface, and it looks like he's going to be out, like, officially. It's not. I don't know if it's definite, but it's, you know, it's very much looking like the two main characters of Justice League are gone.
Yeah.
And this is weird, like a really weird situation. Like they rushed through trying to create a MCU-like universe, and as a result, it basically kind of crashed and burned. So now they had some success, quite a bit of success with Wonder Woman, and we were all pushing forward. We're like, okay, this is a good foot to step on, and then it crashed again with Justice League. Now we're at the point where it's like, hey, guess what? You know, it looks like we're going to be stepping in the right direction as far as Aquaman goes. And, you know, we got Shazam coming, so that, you know, and that looks great. So, you know, finally we got our footing. And then here, massive news of Cavill and Ben Affleck leaving. What the fuck? They need to get their shit together over there.
Listen, I do not find any ounce of joy, that's a lie, in this news. Because I want the DC movies to be good. I'm not a DC fan, but I like comic book movies. They're fun. I want these movies to be good. Now, why I find joy in this news is because there are plenty of DCEU fanboys out there, and that's fine. I'm a fanboy of the stuff in my own right. But these were fanboys that were in denial, that will sit there and swear to you up and down that there is no problem with the DCEU. It is not a mess. It's working great.
Or as intended. I've heard that a little bit.
And yeah, they can't say that anymore. And if they do, they're just the denial is not a strong enough word. This is you know, pretty massive. You know, you lose your Batman and your Superman, then you don't got really any kind of leg to stand on. I mean, all right, you got Wonder Woman, and yeah, the Wonder Woman movie did good. I've seen it. You know, it's acceptable, but it's only acceptable, honestly, because the other movies in this universe were awful. Then you got Aqua Dude Bro. Yeah, all right, sure. I guess it at least looks way more entertaining than the other films. Then you got Shazam, which, as much as I don't like that name, it's awful. The movie does look good. So I don't know what happens now. What do they do? I don't know.
Like with everybody in the DCEU at this point, kind of getting their own movies and sequels and investing a lot of money in this whole fucking foundation, to lose the pillars is insane to me. Like that's like losing like Iron Man and Captain America without killing them. You know what I mean? Like I can understand if Cavill, if they let him stay dead in Justice League, that could have worked. They killed off Batman and got somebody else. That could have worked. It would be bad writing, of course, but you just can't continue your universe without the main characters. You know what I mean? Like without writing them off in some way or passing the torch to somebody else. It doesn't make any sense to me. And one part of me wonders if this whole Superman stuff getting out to the press is a negotiating tactic, because I've been reading Warner Brothers and Henry Cavill have been going back and forth trying to work out a cameo for Shazam and scheduling and stuff like that. And there's also rumors that he wasn't being paid enough to do it. So I'm thinking there's some sort of contract negotiating happening at the moment, and maybe this is putting it out into the press like this might be a negotiating tactic. But the whole Affleck situation that's been a hot, fiery garbage dumpster for like the last year. Like who's to say what's going to happen next with this whole series?
Well, I don't know. But what I do know is that apparently DC and WB are wasting no time and looking for someone new to slap the cape on. And the rumors swirling around right now is that they are looking long and hard at Michael B. Jordan.
If you were pissed off that Michael B. Jordan was playing the Human Torch, get ready to be pissed off about him playing Kal-El.
Yeah, no, I'm not angry in the least. I say bring on Black Clark Kent.
I think a million fanboys' heads just exploded.
Oh yeah, good. Good. I can smell the smoke and the hate.
Stop listening right now. Go to Google, search Scanner's head explode, and that's exactly what happened to like DC fanboys everywhere when they read this news.
The only thing I have a problem with a Black Clark Kent is the disguise. Now,
yeah, it's way dated.
How is a black guy gonna be able to pull off glasses on Clark Kent, but glasses off? Nobody realizes he's Superman. I mean, are they going to change his hairstyle? I mean, Superman, his hairstyle changes a little bit. He gets the curl and everything, and I dig that. But, a lot of, what are they going to do? I don't know. That's my only concern. That is my only.
Ballsy. I'm sorry to cut you off, but if they could go ballsy and like kind of take him out of the journalist world and that clean cut look to him, that Clark Kent that we always knew, and put him in some sort of other profession, like in the same sense that they did with Miles Morales. Like obviously he's a kid, he grew up in a different environment than Peter Parker did. He's a way different character. You could take the Superman film and spin it in an entirely different direction and give him like pull him away from the Clark Kent we always knew and give him a different environment altogether. I'm not sure about suggestions or whatnot, but I think that would be the smart move to do.
Yeah, that is a way better idea than what I just thought of.
God, do I even want to hear it?
Because what I thought of is like the most racist thing ever.
Okay, we are not going there.
Oh no, it is so funny though. It's okay because I am so on board with Michael B. Jordan playing Superman. So it's
that's as bad as saying it's okay. I have a black friend. Like, don't do.
But it will solve the disguise problem. All right.
I'm just gonna point out real quick that you you wanted a white candy man, and now you're about to jump off a bridge.
No, I want a black Superman. I think that's awesome. We
cancels it out.
Yes, we need a Superman with a little bit more attitude, a little bit more fucking swag to him. You know, Henry Cavill doesn't got it. He's got a fucking creepy lip. I don't want that.
No, that was a CGI.
Yeah, well, it was creepy.
Yeah, a little bit. They should make a mask out of that. Wait, didn't you suggest that?
Yes.
A CGI Superman, CGI mustache Superman mask painted like Michael Myers.
Yep.
God, we should make that before somebody does.
All right, I won't say my racist way to fix this black Superman disguise problem.
I know exactly what it is. I'm not even gonna.
No, you don't. You
No.
don't know. You think you know. You don't know.
Are you gonna make him look like Jules Winsfield?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
That was my guess, but
No.
in any case,
no Jerry curls.
That Entertainment does not endorse anything Bates says. You can't see it in the webcam. I'm pointing at him right now. We don't endorse him.
Hey, as I said, bring on Michael B. Jordan, or bring on Idris Elba as Superman. The Idris Elba DCEU, where he plays every character, even Wonder Woman.
I would go see that. I would really see that. But no, man, freaking Michael B. Jordan is awesome. He's fantastic. He was amazing as Killmonger. And yeah, bring it on, man. I'm totally into that.
Well, in the last bit of big comic and geek news here, Warner Brothers is also apparently, I didn't even know this until I read it just now, eyeing Jon Snow himself, Kit Harington for Batman, which yeah, he's got the look.
He does have the look.
Yeah, he's got the look.
When he shaves his beard, he looks like a fucking man-child. Like, I would put him as Robin.
I don't know. I'd be okay with it. I mean, I think anyone would be better than Ben Affleck, in my opinion. I was not a fan of his Batman. He was, but you know what? That might also had to do with the dumbass writing.
Yeah, definitely. I liked the bulkiness of him. How he basically like Zack Snyder did anything right. He captured the Arkham Asylum games Batman, which is pretty awesome. But the writing left a bit to be desired. As far as like this casting with Kit Harington, I don't know why they keep going for a name. And this is something I maintained for so many years. Why cast Val Kilmer? Why cast George Clooney? Why cast Ben Affleck? You know, like these guys are artists. You know, some of them are Oscar winners, of multiple award winners. They don't need to be Batman, and they can walk at any time. And when Batman or Ben Affleck was cast as Batman, I immediately said, you know, why didn't they just get a no name? You know, like why can't they build a star out of somebody rather than get a name? You know, Batman sells himself. He doesn't need a name behind him. You make a star out of somebody by casting them as Batman, and less of a chance of them leaving. You know, Marvel Cinematic Universe did this with basically all of their characters. You know, like they've taken actors that have been working for years, but put them into mainstream and made them household names. You know, with Tom Holland, for example, with Spider-Man. You know, I couldn't even tell you half of the stuff he was in before Spider-Man, and now he is on everybody's mind. So,
Chris Hemsworth.
You know, just they don't need to keep going and trying to get huge names to try to sell overseas. It's not needed. You got the Batman name. That's all you need, man. That's all you need.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, it would probably do them good to let these characters rest for a couple years before they start trying to reintroduce them under new actors.
Good idea. Go along with what they're doing now. Do the Wonder Woman sequel. Do Shazam. Do whatever else they're planning on doing. Aqua Pro. Flash. Get that going. You know, like, you have the opportunity with Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill out to build the universe in the same way Marvel did, because you have the individual films being shot right now. You have the work being done. Don't squander it by rushing around to try to make 8 Batman movies and 8 Superman movies or more Suicide Squad movies. Take this opportunity and relay the pavement for this foundation and come back to Justice League in 5 years, and I think you'll have better results. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go, but they're not going to, and they're just probably going to make the same mistakes again.
I'm hoping not, but it sounds like they're going to be.
All right, well,
that was an episode, man.
Indeed. That is going to do it for us tonight. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Quiet night tonight, but all good. We had a lot to discuss. Thank everybody for hanging out with us, and if you listen to this after you know the live show ended, thank you for that. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. Give the video a little thumbs up. I don't know if that really does anything, but yeah, go for it. I like seeing thumbs ups.
Yeah, same here.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter. We post a little bit on the Way of Life Live Twitter handle, not a whole lot. Probably better if you follow us over at our Dead Entertainment Twitter, which is at Dead End Site, and like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dead Entertainment. You can follow me on Twitter, right there. Yeah, see it right there, at Bates_MotelMT. You can follow him. Yep, that way. You can follow him at Ray Mungus. And keep an eye out for news regarding the Halloween stream, the mid-October event stream, and upcoming live commentaries. We got a lot going on. We got a lot planned. I bet you only about half of it happens. No, I'm kidding. I hope all of it happens.
I'm getting the work this weekend on that stream. We're gonna have a full-on script done by Sunday.
Oh yeah, baller status. Yeah.
I'm excited for this event, just because it's the one that kind of kicked us off into doing this, and I think it's special to kind of like sit on the stream for 7 hours again and just do the shit that we love to do. So it's gonna be a good time. We got to talk. We got to get the live stream going for this month. We're about halfway through the month already, and we need to nail down a date, man. So after air, we're gonna talk a little bit about that, and hopefully get more information to you guys after.
All right. You got anything else to say?
No, I think I'm good. Thanks for checking this out, and hopefully you listen to it later on, because I thought it was a solid episode personally. So yeah, tell your friends.
So thank you everybody one more time. Also keep an eye out for Metal Beer Horror episode 5 coming to a Dead Entertainment YouTube channel near you soonish. Ish. And remember,
What do you think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life.